Hey guys, Jareth Smith here, and today I'm going to relieve your lower back pain caused by anterior pelvic tilt. So when we're talking about anterior pelvic tilt, we're talking about that Donald Duck posture where you have a excessive curve in your lower back, also known as a hyperlumbar lordosis. So if you don't know if you have this posture, just stand in front of the mirror, turn side on with your top off, and if your butt sticks out quite a bit and you've got an excessive curve in your lower back, then you could probably benefit from the exercises I'm going to show you. When looking to fix a anterior pelvic tilt, we need to look to why this is happening. So if we look at the whiteboard, we can see on the left hand side here we've got a neutral posture here. So we've got the pelvis, demonstrated by the triangle, is in perfect alignment with the whole body. If we look over here, we've got anterior pelvic tilt. So this is where the pelvis, or the triangle, is shifted forward like this. Now this is caused to a shortening in hip flexors in the front here, shortening in the lower back, which is going to cause that lower back pain and stiffness, and an elongation of the hamstrings and the abdominals, causing it to shift forward. So now that we know that we have to lengthen the tonic muscles which are short and strengthen up the elongated muscles that are long. So first of all, I'm going to show you some stretches that you can do to lengthen out the lumbar erectors and the hip flexors, which are going to cause this anterior pelvic tilt. The lumbar erectors are going to pull the pelvis up at the back, and the hip flexors are going to pull the pelvis down at the front. So the first stretch, and probably the best stretch that you need, is what I call a proposing stretch. So you're going to get down on one knee, push your hips forward, chest out, and stretch that hip flexor. Make sure you're squeezing your glutes so you get a good stretch from the hip flexor. If you want to enhance this stretch, you can elevate the back foot, put it on a sofa up against a wall, hold the stretch for about 15 to 30 seconds and do 2 sets of this. The second and third stretch I'm going to tell you are both for the lumbar erectors. So the second stretch is a squat assisted by a pole. So you're going to squat down as low as you can, holding onto a pole or the edge of the sofa or anything you've got. Really try and round your back so you get a good stretch in the lumbar erectors. If you suffer with anterior pelvic tilt, this will be a great relief on your lower back. Hold the squat for about 15 to 30 seconds, 2 sets, and then move on to the next stretch, which is a child pose, which is a yoga pose. Holding it again for 15 to 30 seconds, 2 sets. This is where you get on your knees, hands out in front, face down towards the floor, and then really sink into the stretch. Keep breathing, do some deep breathing, and that's really going to lengthen those lumbar erectors. So now that we've addressed the lengthening that needs to be done in the lower back and the hip flexors, we need to start looking at the hamstrings and the core to what we need to strengthen. So we need to strengthen the hamstrings so it can pull the pelvis down, and then the core so it can pull the pelvis up at the front. So the first one you're going to do is a plank for the core. Now sit-ups and exercises like that are not good for your core if you've got an anterior pelvic tilt, because they're too hip flexor dominant. So as you're doing the sit-up, you're going to be working these muscles right here that you're trying to actually lengthen, but you'll be shortening them from doing the sit-up. So the best exercise to do is the plank, because you've got the hip flexors lengthened while strengthening the core. So you're going to get on your elbows with your feet out and hold it for as long as you can. Do 3 sets. Really try and squeeze your belly button in as you're doing the plank. And the second exercise you're going to do is going to target the hamstrings. So this is a hip bridge. There's many variations you can do. You can do a normal hip bridge on the floor. I know I show this in most of my videos because it's a really good exercise to do. You can do a single leg one, which is a bit harder if you're a bit more advanced, or you can do an elevated one where you put your legs on something such as a sofa up against the wall. It just makes it that much harder, but you're going to do as many reps as you can before you get to failure, and then do 3 sets of this. So the main cause of anterior pelvic tilt is sitting for too long, because when you're sitting, the hip flexors in the front here become very short and the hamstrings get stretched out, as well as most people when they're sitting they don't embrace their core, so they end up slouching quite a bit, and this just facilitates this anterior pelvic tilt. So try and avoid sitting for too long, because this is not going to be good for this posture. I know it's hard if you've got a job where you're sitting at a desk, or if you've got a big commute so you're sitting in the car for too long, but if you do these exercises every single day, you'll notice huge improvements, and you can track that by checking the mirror and just seeing a side-on angle of your posture each and every day. And yeah, I hope this video helps. Make sure you check out my channel for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one.